Hi, welcome back to our channel. We are Chase and Melia, and today we are reacting to Siti Nurhaliza once again. This time it's featuring Azlan. I am excited. It's a duet. Maybe it's a lady.
I know. I didn't know.
I don't know. So we're super excited to watch this with you guys. Let's get started. Whoa, we almost forgot the most important part. A big thank you to Miss Pija for sponsoring this video. It's been really wonderful. And a big thank you to all the people who have sponsored videos for Siti, because we would never have known this beautiful, wonderful singer who we both have come to love so much. So a big thank you to Miss Pija for sponsoring this video, and thank you to everybody who has sponsored other videos. It's really been a wonderful thing getting to know Siti Nurhaliza. Now back to the video. See that all in one breath?
Yeah, I know.
That was wild.
That's crazy.
Oof. Was crazy. Yeah. I just want to listen to that little melisma. I want to know how many notes that is. I feel like it's like 5 notes.
It's a lot, and it's I mean it's so quick.
I think it was more than that.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot of notes really fast.
Yeah. I think there's not a really good spot to stop because it already just transitioned.
There's a lot going on.
To talk about the beginning really quick, I think that was a really good example of what we talk about when we say you can't tune with another person unless you're singing the same vowels. Because yes, it was supposed to be super crunchy, but like there were probably 6 or maybe 8 people singing like in that choir.
Yeah.
And I felt like it wasn't really blending quite well. Like it didn't sound like crunchy like it was supposed to sound. It almost sounded like not quite like settled to me.
Yeah.
And I think it was because there were a lot of different vowels happening.
Yeah.
And we've talked about this before, but if you don't sing the same vowel, as another person, you won't tune. It's just physics. It's how the physics of sound works. There's a formant to vowels. And when you sing different vowels, it's going to sound different. It might even tune different.
For those of you who don't know what a formant is, it's basically a frequency that's happening, and they're always kind of happening, but one is made louder, is amplified by your vowel. So if you try to go do a e o u and kind of tap your cheek, and you'll hear different pitches, some higher, some lower,
just naturally without making
making a pitch. And so those frequencies are made a lot louder, and you can't tune. If you're singing two different vowels, you're gonna have two different frequencies kind of blasting out there. So,
and that's like obviously not what we're reacting to, but I just find it interesting, and I think it's something that you guys can listen to when you hear people singing together, especially in like a choral setting.
If you haven't watched our video on how to sing with other people, it's I think it's how to blend, our blending video. We say the exact same thing, where if you don't sing the same vowel, it's going to be really difficult to really be in tune with another person.
Totally. But, well, then besides that, I mean, just on to Siti, who is absolutely, like, it's almost getting harder to say stuff about her because I don't know if I have anything more to say.
Know.
Like, she is...
At this point, I just kind of want to listen.
Well, and she is, like, I've said this a lot of times when we react to her, but she is, like, textbook vowel resonance efficiency, at least to me.
Loose, singing easy. And, like, there's some stuff... You're a big fan of Celine Dion. I like Celine Dion. Yeah. But, like, we always... geek out about how Celine Dion, has really good breath support or does something amazing. We go, whoa. Yeah. And I felt like I heard 3 or 4 times where Siti, big phrases where Siti just did these beautifully, not only impressive, but like musical and emotive. It was real kind of artistry at that point. It's not just somebody singing something well. It's somebody communicating something well as well. And that's just really, that's something special.
Well, and I think for me, so far, I can't stress enough how wonderful her vowels are. Mm-hmm. And what it does for her sound is it creates this resonance and efficiency that is just really clear to hear. Like, you hear the singers at the beginning, even some of them had kind of like solos, and then you hear Siti sing. Yeah. And it's like a different instrument. Yeah. It's a completely different sound. It is so beautiful. Like, it's just so pleasant to the ear. And it's because of all the things we talk about. You know, her breath support, her vowels, her efficiency and resonance. Like, all of those things are very evident when she sings. Yeah.
So,
oh my gosh.
That line right there. So, yeah, the end.
It's crazy.
The end. It's not a vibrato. It's her going, ah.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering how she does that. Like, how I just did it was with my air a little bit.
Right.
So, kind of going down a pitch. She's not going down.
It is.
I think it's a full half step at least, right? And
it sounds like she's bending the pitch. Like, if you guys ever hear, like, other instruments do this, like guitars can do it with the string.
You bend and...
I feel like you do it in another instrument, but I can't think about it right now.
There's like a dulcimer
that's what I was
type
thinking
deal
of.
where they push on one side.
You bend something.
Well, I just think it's that how I would do it is I would pull back on my hair a little bit.
I think right. Well, we've noticed that with her before too, as something that like is a rule breaking thing she does well. It was probably the first performance we watched her where she kind of pulled her energy back at the end of the phrases.
True.
And we would say, you go through the end of the phrase with energy, but I feel like it's a stylistic thing to the songs that she's singing. Yeah. She's singing this like contemporary traditional Malaysian music.
It's really cool.
It's a blend of things.
Something that I think is interesting. So we practice, and we've done this before, trills, right? We did that in school in our classical program, and it's all Western style music.
Right.
And I think in Western style music that we do something similar, but it always goes up.
Right, even just that.
Right?
Yeah.
And that is a half step, but it's always going up. This is It's really interesting that going down. And back to the pitch is something totally different from I think a lot of Western music.
Yeah, absolutely. And I completely agree with you. It's not her vibrato. Like, it's not. It's not
really
just her
cool.
vibrato.
It's really cool.
This is neat. Oh.
Tiada bintang dapat menerangkan hati yang telah dicela padaku, lumpuh tak mampu berdiri aku. Kata begini takkan berubah karena aku tetap aku dan alur hidupmu bukanlah aku. So I wasn't ready for another person. I forgot that it was another person was gonna sing, and I was like, "Whoa! I've never heard Siti sound like that."
Sound like that. That is very different.
Yeah.
Wow.
So one thing I wanted to notice is like, we like to compare singers and just how that they're doing it. We're not trying to say that one person is better or good or bad or any of that other stuff. We're gonna have our own preferences and bias, you know, of what we look for and how we try to sing ourselves.
Right.
But you know, so if you hear anything that maybe isn't to your taste, you know, we don't mean in an offensive way. We're just trying to compare the two singers. It seems like he's working a lot harder than she was. And he's kind of going for like that rock sound.
It said
right?
rock music.
Rock music instrumental.
Right.
So he's kind of yelling and really digging in and really the style. Yeah. So, you know, I think he's using his breath in that way. Mm-hmm. But for me, if I were to try and make a more rock sound, you know, I'd definitely be more aggressive and like, you know, kind of harsh with my vowels. I think he's doing a really good job of that. But I wouldn't push, you know, that kind of stuff can be really difficult on your voice. You know, if you have more than just the one song to sing, it might make it hard to sing multiple songs one after the other.
And I think too, a lot, like, we'll continue listening to him obviously, but I think a lot of what I'm hearing is like, it almost feels like he doesn't have enough energy in his like air support, like breath, like his flowing of his air. He's not like using it. Sure. You know what I mean? I feel like you could accomplish that still like rock sound without like compromising your efficiency of like air. But that's just something I think I've heard.
Well, I think you're right. I think he's not getting enough air speed. Like he's not letting enough air through. Yeah. You know, and it's gotta kind of pinched down and pinched off. And...
Totally. Like the visual we like to use is like a train is kind of coming out of your mouth, right?
Going
like
through a tunnel.
Yeah, it's going through a tunnel. And so the train is your air and energy, and it just keeps going and it's consistent. But
if you stop it every 2 seconds, it never gets kind of a flow going.
Totally. And we talk about that with like consonants, and even so you can hear this has a lot of more like chewy kind of consonants
and phrasing. I mean, we talk about it with phrasing too. It's that's why we just say air and vowel, you know. Those are the two most important things, and in our opinion, you know, with our vocal philosophy, we send air through and try not to interrupt it so much. Right. But you know, he's going for a thing, and I think he's pulling it off, you know.
Yeah, let's keep listening to see what his voice kind of sounds like.
Yeah. I was saying earlier that's a Godin guitar, and because I really like guitars, and they're nice. They're very nice guitars.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's good looking, right?
It's really pretty.
Nice, yeah.
Rock star.
She was so good. So this is actually something I talked to one of my students yesterday about, and he struggles with singing fast songs.
Right.
So let's go back and watch the section when she comes in. There's a lot of words.
Yes.
You are going the whole time, and you have to breathe really quick. So part of that's going to be you really knowing the song really well, so that you know exactly where to, like, you've practiced where you're breathing, and you practice taking that full breath.
Right.
Otherwise, you're gonna run out of air. Right.
Absolutely.
It's just part of like,
and you'll sound out of breath.
You being prepared for the phrase, and the phrases are coming really fast.
Yeah.
So she's just super on it and takes a quick breath.
Yeah.
Which it's a full breath. Right. It's not like a half breath. Which is what I do all the time. Just I take a breath, but it's never as big as I need.
Right.
And then she continues to the next phrase almost immediately.
Yeah.
So that's pretty good. Did you hear how fast that breath
that
was?
was a fast
That was
breath.
crazy.
Yeah.
She barely stopped at all. It's so cool.
And it was also a key change. Okay, I'm surprised at how high he can get up there.
Yeah.
Because I think that's why originally we might have thought it was her. Because
Yeah.
he does have a pretty
He has
high,
got a pretty high voice.
range.
And I loved it when they sang together. Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
that was so good.
They were very in unison. I think that I'm super distracted by the background vocalists because I feel like they're not even trying to blend. And I also feel like whoever is mixing this, obviously this is in 2009, so this is a long time ago, is like also not trying to blend them because it's a lot louder than it needs to be.
Yeah. I think though that there's like a bunch of reasons that could happen. So
no, for sure, it's live. It looks like it's live.
Yeah, it's live. It's a live show. If anybody's ever tried to sing with in-ears, it's really difficult.
Right.
And it's like you get the sound back that you're really not used to. It doesn't sound anything like standing next to a person and being able to actually hear them. They've got loud music going on. They're dancing all over the place. Like there's a lot of noise going on and things going on that like will prevent them from like really being able to hear each other and really being able to blend.
It's specifically the
the volume level. Oh no,
yeah, it's specifically like that voice person who's singing that, and I understand that part well. I understand singing like in a choir or a group those parts, and it sounds like their vibrato is getting the best of them.
Sure.
And so it just feels a little out of control, like uncontrolled in a way that's like.
Well, when you're singing background, when you're not the main part, you're trying to add without getting in the way.
Right.
And having a big, open, voice, which is something that we, talk about a lot in terms of solo singing, which is important. But whenever I'm trying to blend with Melia, I definitely have to kind of tone it down and pull off a lot of the stuff that we praise and stuff so highly on here. Right. It's
you have to be really intentional with it. And I'm going to see if it's close enough to listen to it again. And I'm going to try to give you an example of what I'm talking about, like what I'm hearing and what I would do if I were them. And I had the ability to hear myself as well, because you make a good point.
Okay.
I honestly think there's just a lot of vowels going on. Like those two are singing and everyone's else singing ooh. And it's just a completely I think it's just a clashing style, probably intentionally. Like you were told to sing ooh, but
it could be intentional, absolutely. Yeah. But I think that's something that we notice, and a lot of people forget when they sing in harmony. Right. Is that if you don't do the same vowels, those different frequencies are going to really poke out, and they will clash.
Right.
But I think
aside from that, it's really impressive how high he can sing.
Yeah.
Okay, what he does differently, ha 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 ha, instead of ha. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's exactly what we were saying before, but that was a really good example of what he's doing. And you can tell it's his thing. Like, that's what he does. I think that's how he sings and how he performs. And it's probably also, like, the sound that people are used to. Yeah. But I think that's why it sounds so different than Siti, because what she does is not that. She doesn't.
Which is more of what we do, you know? So that's why we gravitate towards Siti.
Right.
But, like, she has exactly one big, long, connected one.
Right.
Even if you break it up.
You can still dynamically do that,
You know, you can break it up with your with your, the lyrics.
Yeah.
But he's kind of hitting
Using his
it
whole
with
body.
his diaphragm and his belly, which is another way to do it.
Right. And the only reason we ever bring these things up is because to us and our ear, it sounds less efficient, right? And
sounds like
efficiency,
he's working harder.
But that's also the reality of it. The reality is, on the other end, let's say it doesn't matter, you prefer that sound, he's going to get a lot more tired more quickly than she is.
Sure.
She's going to sing like days around him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just going to be the reality.
And ask me how I know.
Right,
I was definitely kind of closer to that than the other way of having a clear kind of efficient voice. And I think that's probably why we focus on it a lot.
For sure.
Because it has become goals for our own voices and how we kind of see
Like the
good
longevity of
singing.
singing. Totally.
Longevity of singing.
Totally.
Absolutely. Awesome.
There are so many people there.
I know that was a big
a huge
production.
yeah.
It was really good.
Looks like an award show, possibly.
Possibly.
Or something like that, maybe.
Man,
Yeah.
The Typewriter. Yeah, I don't know.
Interesting. Typewriter. Yeah.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
I unfortunately this version did not have subtitles, so I don't really know what the song was about, but it sounded like fun.
I think it was really cool. Thank you for suggesting this. I think this was really cool to hear Siti singing in another style.
Yeah.
Because so far we had heard like kind of like a musical theater-y, poppy, classical, traditional Malaysian style, which was already, super diverse. But then to hear her
totally
sing
different.
Like punk rocky pop, pretty sweet.
It was pretty cool.
It
was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I think that also just goes to show that the style that we talk about and the technique that we believe she's using is possible to apply to all genres. Things like rock and things like grit that apply to rock aren't something that come from working harder. They're something that comes from, like your vowels and maybe your consonants and maybe just your physical energy. You don't have to like physically hurt your voice to accomplish that sound. Not to say anything against people who do that. That's your choice. Yeah. We're just saying you don't have to. Yeah.
And I think it was, I think it's pretty clear that she did a great job.
Absolutely.
Using her instrument for that kind of music, right?
Totally.
So it's
it was convincing.
It's convincing and it fit. It sounds good.
It's so good.
So it's like, that's what I've always said too when people say that they want to sing a certain genre. I'm like, I want you to be able to sing everything.
Absolutely.
And I think that there's no reason why you can't. I play guitar and I can play guitar sweet and soft and like acoustic-y, and then I can pick up an electric and rock out.
Absolutely.
It's about how you play the instrument.
Absolutely.
So I think that if you're practicing and are using your instrument really well, like Siti does, you can sing anything.
Absolutely. So. And I think good vocal technique, having that as a foundation, really sets you up for success. It's not like other things in life where, you can have 50% and be really good you could be like mediocre at a bunch of things or really good at one thing. When you're singing with good vocal technique, you really can sing all genres very well because you started with a good foundation.
You definitely have to make adjustments,
absolutely.
Right? But it's the same way that dancers study ballet. So,
right.
It's helpful.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for recommending this video, and we hope that you guys enjoyed watching us react. If you guys did, please leave us a comment in the box below and let us know if there's somebody else you want us to react to. If you happen to be new here, we are Chase and Melia, and we appreciate you guys joining and watching us. Please be sure to hit that subscribe button and notification bell so you can be notified the next time we post. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time.